So, I'm not overly pleased with the colour. That's full coverage, 3 coats in. I don't know, part of me thinks it looks great, and then the other part of me is worried it's a bit shiny. Maybe it'll dull as it dries. I just think compared to a bike that I want quite stealthy, that it's a bit... Oh, I'm so tempted to paint it all black. I'll see how it is tomorrow. I'm going to see how it dries. I want the bike to be a bit stealthy, you know, a bit interesting, a bit Nighthawk. It's going to stick out. It's really going to stick out, Abjab. See, I like my mattes and satins. I'll see how it is tomorrow. I'm going to put on probably 2 more coats and then see how it is tomorrow. Ideally, you'd have a good body shop lacquer. I didn't even think earlier, but we should have a good thick body shop lacquer. I can possibly pick one up tomorrow if I haven't got one here. Just, you only need a kind of matte one, but it'll just give it, you know, it'll just last a bit longer. I've actually found a brand new petrol resistant lacquer. Now this will be a good thick lacquer, so well worth using. Acrylic, I don't know if what did it say there? Ideal for tanks with all acrylic finishes. Hopefully this is where I go wrong every time. I'm sure what I'm using is, yeah, it's not enamel, so it is acrylic. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do probably the last layer of this aluminium colour, silver, just to basically use out the can, and then use some of that lacquer. It'd be silly not to, really silly not to at this stage. Give it some longevity, and yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be here another couple of hours because it's a good 10 minutes between coats. Notice I did move from over there. It was silly, but yeah, there's less kind of breeze in the corner here. And also notice how messy this is. What the hell? It's foxes jumping in the bin and pulling stuff out. But that's not my mess, guys, before you moan at me. You'd be amazed what people moan at me at. There is a caretaker who cleans this area sometimes, on rare occasions. I love seeing the bike like this. I just think, like, it already looks cleaner. That's what it is, actually, guys. That's what it is. Looking at here and looking at there, we've taken off the rough part, so it already looks cleaner, and it makes a big difference. And with the old plate being on and all, we're at a nice stage. Tomorrow I'll be clearing out any fuel that's left in there, and changing the coil leads for the new ones I've got. And yeah, we're not going to hear it run for probably a few more weeks now, but we'll see the kind of progress being made, which is great news. So I'm looking at the weather and I'm thinking, better wrap it up. I got lots of nice footage today, I think, and got some nice work done today as well, which I'm very pleased with. I'm going to get all that in. It actually said on the lacquer bottle to wait at least 24 hours before lacquering, and then to scuff before lacquering. So actually lacquering is probably going to be next weekend, which is fine. We're not in any rush. Anything other than that is what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to check Sainsbury's tonight. I need to get the finger for the cleaning of the tank, so if I can get that today, that'll be perfect. I didn't want to buy loads of stupid little bottles, so I'm looking for the one big one. If they've got that, I'll pick it up and we'll get that sorted. I have to remember myself to take the footrest off again tomorrow before putting the side casings on, otherwise it will scrape it and ruin it. so that's fine. And yeah, and this is the base coat before any lacquer. It's a bit brighter than I wanted, I have to admit. I probably would have preferred a kind of brushed gunmetal or something, but you never know. When it goes back on the bike, it could look good. If I knew how to, I'd quite like to run the paint down into there, so it said Honda, maybe again in a red or something, but not sure how to. I wonder if you just put it in a syringe with a bit of water, drip it on and let it self level. I'm going to put all this inside before it rains. That's what we need to do. That'll be curing for 24 hours. Well, actually it'll be curing all week, ultimately, but we will pull the bike out tomorrow and see what's going on. Guys, if you enjoyed these last, well, this could be the last 2 videos or the last 3 videos, and you felt that it was a bit better, please do like, sub, press the bell icon, drop a comment and all of that. It really does help out the algorithm, and it really does help give me a few pennies to carry on doing this stuff. Slightly different this time because it's going to be my bike, but there's a reason it's going to be my bike, which is financially I'm a touch struggling. So I think lots of extra stuff like credit cards and the Harley kind of can go out the window. The Harley is on finance. It's got about 1,800 left, but obviously if I sold it I would be paying that off immediately, and then using the rest to figure out what's going on there. The WK bike, I have no idea what to do with it. It wouldn't be fair to sell it. It's already broken into pieces. I don't want to sell parts. I hate selling parts. I'm just going to keep looking for a head. I think CMPO now have them, but they don't have the internals. I just need a built-up head, if I'm being honest. I can't be arsed messing with building a new one, which is going to cost £200 and the bike's worth £6, you know. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate the watchers. I always appreciate your comments. I've got great relationships with most people on the channel, which I really like, so thank you always.
2,000 years later.
Hey, welcome back, guys. I've been running around London today, trying to find enough vinegar to fill that tank. I've had to end up buying loads of little bottles in there. But what I did find was 2 more of them magnetic tool holders. I love them things. They're so handy. They're the ones that are up on the wall here, look. They just do the job. Yep, I'll throw them up. Now today, following on from yesterday, engine casings are here. Now I always mess up with primers and clear coats and this and that, so I'm actually going to follow the instructions this time. I'm not going to mess. Part of me was going to clear coat these today so that they were ready next week, and actually no, I'm not going to. I'm going to let them set all week, and then I'll give them a light rub down next week, and we'll go on with the petrol resistant clear. It doesn't have to be petrol resistant clear, but on this occasion you'll get a bit of a thicker, more durable coat if it is, rather than Halford's basic clear. I think Nat doesn't use that. I think he doesn't like their basic clear, but they do have a professional range which is much better, although still not fuel proof. You have to actually get real fuel proof stuff for the tank, for example. So so I haven't got much to do today, but I am going to get the tank off. There isn't any fuel left, or much left. I'll get it filled up with the vinegar. Any excess gap I'll put in distilled water just to top it up a bit. That will take the acidity down a touch, but it's going to be in there all week anyway, so I'm not overly worried. So the tank's going to be off. I'm going to do the coils while the tank's off. Try and clean a touch at the top of the engine with my scuff pads while I can get in there. And that's kind of it today. You're really not going to see too much today. But it's a process well worth doing. When I'm ready to take the vinegar out, I'll basically flush it out quickly here, because you can flush vinegar down a drain anywhere really, because it's not an issue. But anyway, I'll flush it out, I'll run it home, I'll rinse it out with water, some bicarb if need it, well, I'll put some in, it won't hurt. And then I'm going to run some 2-stroke around the inside, and that's it. You leave it then. The main part is the top part. Turn it upside down when you've put your 2-stroke in, because the bottom gets sealed using fuel all the time. The rust never comes back where the fuel sits. But at the top, you need to run, I mean, I'm going to run 2-stroke around the whole thing, but the top is the main part, the bit that doesn't see too much fuel. So and that'll be good. John's still looks great after a year or a bit longer. And that's kind of this week's progress. But actually, it's a hell of a lot of progress. It's, you know, we've done loads at the moment. What will come in the short long run will be new handlebars. I want to get the that light holder off, because that needs to be scuffed down and painted. I can probably do that myself, although if Nat happens to be doing the rest, that it probably would make sense to let him do the bunch. I am set on black, guys. I am set on black. What I might do is get the black done. I might red the I might put a kind of Honda red, a burgundy or a red in the badge. At the moment it's a white with a silver rim. I might paint the white red, just really lightly with some acrylic, and yeah, it'll be quite stealthy, it'll be quite cool. If I could do that in the engine bit as well, that would be good, but you'd have to do it now before clearing while off the bike. So I'll think about that, It might not be a terrible idea. It's just how I get the red in neatly is my biggest worry. I'm not very good with that fine motor stuff. Right, let me get this tank off. Fuel flushed again. There's not much in there at all, and we'll fill it up so that it can sit there. I'm going to make a space for it somewhere over here. It's going to sit there all week. Just vinegar, a bit of distilled water. It'll be absolutely fine. And then we'll come back and I'll show you what we're doing with the coils. So you can see that basically, even when I just flushed it with fuel, it's very, very surface, this rust. It will clean off quite quickly. Really, the vinegar wouldn't need to be in here all week, but it will be fine too. I'm not even going to remove the tap. The tap's switched off. I don't have concerns about it. It's designed to hold fuel. It will hold a bit of vinegar as well. What I won't do is turn the tap on, flush it through. I'll keep it switched off. I don't think there'll be any issues there. So I'm going to put this in the space where it can sit all week safely, and then fill it up and leave it, and that'll be absolutely fine. And then I'll show you what we're looking at with the coil here. So I stink of vinegar. The tank's full of vinegar. It only needed a tiny trickle of distilled water, actually. I mean, that tank must only hold, how many did I buy? I bought 5, 6, maybe 8 litres. I'm surprised. Right, so coils. We took these coils off John's Bonnie fill, thinking that one might be a bit sus, and I think there was a touch of a break here, but nothing to worry about. The heads, these coils and heads are rated at a much better rate than what's on the bike. That says 5,000, I don't know what that means. But they're good quality coils, and the ones on there are mix mash, and they've kind of gone stale. So I chucked one of these heads on myself, but the actual lead is like, it's gone a bit stale. So whereas these still look flexy and flimsy. So yeah, so a simple plan. I just take these off, unscrew them like you would anything else, and then we'll put the new ones on, assuming these do unscrew. That is, you never know, you might have a set that don't. I think they probably will. So yeah, so I'm going to pull them off and do that. If I can get this engine brace off today, I'm going to take that off to give it a quick clean, and then I can clean all around here better than I have. Give that a spray, clean and a spray, and then that's kind of it really for today's small tasks. There's not much more for me to do yet. Yeah, right, so where am I? I am changing the leads on the coil.